Happy Sat Stacking Saturday. Welcome to the number one day of the Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin's pumping in the green, back above 67 G's, 69,000 in play. Send it, let's get it. Breaking news, BlackRock just bought 292 million worth of the Bitcoin. They now own over 400,000 BTC. Let that one sink in. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser, the new all-time high gold price is predicting Bitcoin will trade over 220,000 per coin very soon. We'll also be discussing what happens to the Bitcoin price if Microsoft shareholders vote to buy the Bitcoin. In fact, Samson Mow just recently met up with some of the heads over at, the CEO, that is, of Microsoft. And they're going to be making a big announcement on December 10th, whether the vote to buy Bitcoin or not for their balance sheet, following in the footsteps of MicroStrategy. I'm pretty optimistic here because BlackRock is one of the primary shareholders of Microsoft. It's second, just under Vanguard, who is the largest shareholder. I've done my homework. Also, the hacker who looted 20 million from the U.S. government returns the vast majority of the stolen funds, according to Arkham Intelligence. Why would he do such a thing? I'll be discussing it. We'll also be discussing Pennsylvania House advances Bitcoin rights bill to clarify digital asset regulations. I'll be breaking down this latest report as Bitcoin adoption continues. Also, there's a 60% chance Bitcoin smashes 170,000 this cycle, according to analyst Jamie Couts of Real Vision. I'll be sharing his timeline. Also, another analyst, Michaël Poppe, says market's about to go vertical, outlining Bitcoin rising from 300 to 500,000 per coin here in the fourth quarter of 2024. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much motherfucking more in today's show. If you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes, then hit the bell icon, as well as subscribe. This is the number one daily Bitcoin pod, hands down. Today is pod episode 1799, so I'm also the most consistent Bitcoin podcaster on planet Earth, and I take that title with great pride. Much respect, fam. Today is another Sat Stacking Saturday. It's October 26, 2024, and markets are pumping. We're back in the green above 67 G's. Let's check out our market watch as we do each and every day. You can see Bitcoin here trading at roughly 67,300 at the time of the live stream. We got Ether up 0.5%, trading just shy of 2,500. We have Solana, Tron, and BNB bullish and in the green. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, I can't believe the Bitcoin dominance is up to 58.2%. And the market cap, total crypto right now, 2.28 trillion. Bitcoin market cap, 1.32 trillion. And that's right, Bitcoin continues to outpace Ethereum. Currently, the market cap up over $1 trillion. And as I mentioned earlier, 58 now 0.1% BTC dominance. Ether dominance holding on to 13.1%. We may see it go down even lower. That seems to be the trend. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, we have GOAT up 17%, Ray up 7%, and Maker up 2.5%. Let me know which alts, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. Unfortunately, it's like 90% of the market correcting and in the red Rec City. And checking out the monthly, a little better, but not much better. Maybe 80-20 in the red Rec City. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Today we're at 72 greed, yesterday 69, last week at 72, and last month at 50, which is neutral. And checking out the time chain calendar. We have 182,511 blocks to go into the next halving. Typically, it's roughly every 10 minutes we get a next block. And we're currently on block height 867,489. You could currently exchange $1 for 1,490 Satoshis. So stack them sats accordingly, especially on a beautiful Sat Stacking Saturday like today. Let's continue with some of the headlines. A lot going on. Let's start with our technical analysis, aka astrology for the broskies. Headline reads, Bitcoin price nurses a 5% dip. That's right before we bounce right back to 67. And before we dive deeper into the article, other breaking news. BlackRock just bought 292 million BTC. 292 million worth. They now own over 400,000 Bitcoin. That's almost double the stash of MicroStrategy, who has been accumulating the Bitcoin since 2020. Now, keep in mind, BlackRock didn't start investing until their ETF launched this year, January 11th, which ultimately means like 10 months, they have accumulated 400,000 Bitcoin, which is virtually 2% of the circulating supply. That's mind-boggling numbers, by the way. Also quoting the high priest, the new all-time high gold price is predicting Bitcoin will trade over 220,000 very soon. He's referencing gold breaking out, hitting a new all-time high recently of above 2,700. But let's dive a little deeper into some TA, and then we'll pull up some of the live charts. Here you're looking at the 1 hour chart. Bitcoin just recaptured 67,000 here today. TradingView track local lows of 65 on Bitstamp into the October 25th daily close, which was yesterday. So it's nice to see us bounce back. These came along fresh geopolitical instability and unsubstantiated reports surrounding illicit use of the largest stablecoin, Tether. Probably most likely just some FUD, but quoting Luca here, in my opinion, that drop wasn't caused by the news. The drop was caused by the high open interest, which market makers are trying to flush out before they take the price higher. So your typical market manipulation there. And data from on-chain analytics firm Glassnode showed the single-day open interest decreased October 25th as the largest since August. Quoting Capriole Investments, Charles Edwards, blows my mind. The Bitcoin still trades like a risk asset. And Bitcoin will trade like gold in these events one day. On the plus side, 10,000 BTC open interest wiped in minutes. We are now back at the same level of the open interest as when Bitcoin was trading at 59 G's. Now, Luca also share, if we look at the liquidation heat map, we can clearly observe how the bulls try to catch the local bottom this whole week, falling or failing each time as there were highly leveraged positions. Now it's happening again with a massive pile of longs sitting just under 65,000, which is also a very important support level. Lose that, the next support range to 60,000 gets exposed. And then we have CoinGlass, who shared, now that is what I personally think is going to happen. We'll most likely see another flush to 60,000 before we can call for any other local bottoms. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analysts, and let's pull up some of the live chart action Jackson for you. This is live and in the flesh via Coinbase, via TradingView. This is the 1 hour chart. You can see past 4 hours, we had 3 pretty impressive green candle closes. So, bullish momentum back in full swing. Nice to see. And checking out the 4 hour, and we'll zoom out from here for a broader perspective. We do have some targets in play. You see a bullish pennant formation. The blue target for the bull is 81.3. The green target for the bullish pennant is 79. And then the bear target in the green is $50,400. And again, this is the 4 hour chart you're looking at. Let's take a quick look at the 1 hour. 1 hour says rising wedge formation clearly. A couple bottom targets in the green sitting at 50,400, and another one at 47.7. And zooming out from the daily, the infamous 1 week chart, which still has that sexy cup and handle target sitting at 124,000 even, which is in play here for Q4 fam. And zooming out from the weekly, we'll take a quick look at the monthly. I mean, we got less than a week left. In fact, just 3 days until we get the October monthly close. Thus far, it's in the green. Will we maintain in the green? Will continue to surge in the green? We have election day literally less than 2 weeks out, November 5th. So let me know your thoughts, and where do you feel we'll close for the month of October? Big news. What happens to Bitcoin price if Microsoft shareholders vote to buy the Bitcoin? And here's the latest. Microsoft CTO Kevin Scott. I don't know why I hadn't thought of it before, but Bitcoin is an incredibly powerful concept, and I don't think we have fully grasped what it could mean for society. Well said there, Kevin Scott. Welcome to the Bitcoin train. And breaking news, CEO of Blockstream, Adam Back, early Bitcoin OG, and Samson Mao, another true Bitcoin OG, met with the Microsoft CEO, Satya Nadella. And here's the note. 10th December is the vote if they're going to buy Bitcoin. Now, this is a massively successful company. I don't know how many billions they're worth. If someone can look that up on Google really quick, that would be pretty cool. But one thing I do know, the 2 largest shareholders of Microsoft are Vanguard and BlackRock. BlackRock virtually owns everything, including your soul. Just pointing out the obvious. I'm kidding, but not kidding at the same time, if you know what I mean. But let's break down the story. October 24th filing with Microsoft with the US SEC revealed an unexpected item on the agenda for the upcoming annual shareholder meeting December 10th. Let's go. 5 days after the election, alongside routine votes such as the election of directors, the ratification of his independent auditor, and reports of AI misinformation. One proposal stood out, the assessment of investment in Bitcoin. Interestingly, Microsoft's board recommended shareholders vote against it. And as of the second quarter 2024 financial report, Microsoft held $76 billion in cash and equivalents. Talk about the melting ice cube. If shareholders push the company to allocate even 10% into the biddy, it would represent a massive $7.6 billion Bitcoin investment. Like, whoa. And here you're looking at the top Bitcoin holders. Coinbase, 2.2 million as their custodian for many of the asset managers, including BlackRock. Satoshi, they speculate 1 million to 1.1 million. Binance, 636,000. BlackRock now just surpassed 400,000 allegedly. MicroStrategy has 252,000. Grayscale, 224,000. Grayscale once had 600,000, but obviously they have the outflows. A lot of that has dissipated. And then the U.S. government, 213,000. But I beg to differ because the reality is most everything is controlled or owned by the U.S. government, including BlackRock. They got their hands in everything. So in a sense, the U.S. government has a tremendous amount of Bitcoin indirectly. Now, at the average price of 73,000 per Bitcoin, this would translate to 104,000 Bitcoin, nearly 11 times the amount held by Tesla, which currently amounts for 9,700 Bitcoin. And while the figure would be substantial, it would still trail behind MicroStrategy's aggressive accumulation strategy with their holdings of 252,220. However, with Bitcoin supply dwindling, over 80% of the Bitcoin hasn't moved in more than 6 months. Smart money, yo. And the balance of the Bitcoin on the exchanges has fallen to the lowest level in over 4 years. A Microsoft acquisition of this magnitude can create a supply shock. That's right. Where are they going to even get this much Bitcoin from? Whether this will become a reality depends on how the shareholders vote in December. Let me know how you feel this will likely go. Now, how U.S. shareholder votes work in U.S. public companies like Microsoft. Shareholders vote on important decisions at annual meetings. Votes on special proposals like the one for Bitcoin investment are typically non-binding, but they serve as a gauge of shareholder sentiment and can pressure the company to act accordingly if enough support is garnered. A large shareholder can compel a company to consult all shareholders on specific issues as per SEC regulations for public companies. However, the board has advised voting against the Bitcoin proposal, likely reflecting caution around volatility and regulatory uncertainty. Still, the growing demand for the biddy from institutional investors cannot be ignored. That's right. Now, if Microsoft decides to invest in Bitcoin, several methods are available. The company could directly purchase the Bitcoin on the regular exchanges, similar to how Tesla acquired its holdings. Another option is buying shares of a Bitcoin spot ETF, which provides indirect exposure. Maybe they choose Fidelity or BlackRock, one of the giants, with added liquidity and regulatory clarity, avoiding direct custody risks associated with holding the physical asset. This structure also facilitates easier buying and selling, which can improve capital efficiency. Microsoft could also consider using leverage, including the use of derivatives and like call options to strategically increase the market exposure without deploying large upfront capital. This enables speculation on the price movements, potentially amplifying the results. However, it introduces additional risks, something to consider, but ultimately Microsoft is unlikely to invest in Bitcoin soon, but shareholder pressure highlights Bitcoin's appeal, potentially encouraging other companies to explore it. And as I pointed out, positive words from Kevin Scott, their CTO, and of course, Samson Mow doing his thing with what's his name? Adam Back, orange pilling, the CEO of Microsoft. So when I see a photo of the CEO of Microsoft sitting next to these two gentlemen, done deal. Just saying how I feel. Let me know how you feel. Let me know how you feel. That'll likely play out, yo. But anyways, next story of the day, eh? Let's discuss this $20 million hack. And this is something you don't hear so often. Hacker who looted $20 million from a U.S. government address returns the vast majority of the stolen funds. So maybe it's like something to do. I mean, there's nothing to do that day. Let me see if I can hack a government address and I'll just return the funds. Who does that? This guy, the hacker who looted nearly $22 million worth of crypto from the U.S. government wallet, this week appears to have returned the vast majority of the funds, according to the digital asset platform Arkham Intelligence. On Thursday, the exploiter plundered the crypto from a government address that hadn't moved any digital assets in 8 months. Arkham notes that less than 24 hours later, the same address received $19.3 million back. Or did the government hack themselves? Recovering 88% of the comprised dollar value, the impacted wallet contained crypto seized from the hackers who looted Bitfinex. Oh, wow. Back in 2016. The hacker this week stole millions of dollars worth of the stablecoins USDT, USDC, Aave USDC, and Ethereum. And Arcam noted Thursday they had began selling the proceeds for ETH and funneling the crypto through a suspicious address linked to a money laundering service. Arcam reported numerous digital asset movements affiliated with the U.S. government wallets this year. And in July, a different U.S. government address moved more than $2 billion worth of the BTC seized from a illicit online marketplace known as Silk Road. Whoa. Now, Arcam said at the time the coin shifting likely represented a 10,000 Bitcoin deposit to an institutional custody service. And in April, a U.S. government address sent more than $131 million worth of seized Bitcoin to a Coinbase Prime wallet. So next story, here's the big news with Pennsylvania. House advances Bitcoin rights bill to clarify digital asset regulations. That's right. The Pennsylvania House of Representatives passed the bill October 24th to establish regulatory clarity for digital assets like the BTC within the state. Known as House Bill 2481 or the Bill of Rights bill, the legislation passed with strong bipartisan support, receiving a vote of 176 to 26, including 100 Republicans and 76 Democrats. Unanimous decision. According to a Fox Business report, the legislation seeks to protect the rights of Pennsylvania residents to hold and use Bitcoin while establishing clear guidelines on taxing digital asset transactions. The bill now moves to the Republican-led Pennsylvania Senate, which is expected to review it after the November election. And if approved and signed by Governor Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania will join other states in establishing its digital asset rules amid federal regulatory uncertainty. House Bill 2481 was developed with input from the Bitcoin advocacy organization Satoshi Action Fund. The SAF was involved in similar efforts in 20 states, with 4 bills becoming law in Oklahoma, Louisiana, Montana, and Arkansas. The push for the new legislation in the area comes amid federal uncertainty about digital asset regulation. You can thank No Claire Gare for that one. With agencies divided over the insight, the SEC continues to evaluate whether certain digital assets, apart from Bitcoin and Ether, qualify as securities. And if it's up to Gensler, everything in the world, including his own mother, is a security. Meanwhile, the CFTC oversees those classified as commodities. They're fighting for regulatory jurisdiction ultimately. In such polarizing times, it's great to see both sides of the aisle come together to further innovate and prioritize security for Pennsylvanians who owned and transact with the crypto, said the Republican Pennsylvania State Rep Michaël to the bill, or the bill's sponsor. So yeah, I mean, Pennsylvania crypto bill could sway 2024 voters. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Obviously, anyone pro-crypto should be all over that. So there you go. And that number continues to climb. Let's discuss this 170,000 target by Real Vision. Then we'll discuss the 300 to 500,000 target from Michaël Poppe. And then we'll dive into some live Q&A. Welcome everyone just joining us. Headline says, there's a 60% chance Bitcoin hits 170,000 this cycle. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. And I'll break down the timeline from the analyst Jamie Couts. So in an appearance on Raoul Pal's The Journeyman YouTube channel, Couts says Bitcoin could explode to 6-figure territory as the global money supply increases. Quoting the analyst here, my base case is if we just look at the M2 money supply and back it out to August, which was where the Bitcoin cycle peaks, that infers a price of about 100,000 on Bitcoin. I am placing as a potential outcome, but a low, very low probability outcome. My proportionality forecast is 170 Gs. Now, the crypto analyst further says there is a more optimistic scenario where Bitcoin could skyrocket up to 234,000 and even higher. Send it. Quoting him here. The question is, what probability do you assign to each of those potential outcomes to come up with some sort of grounded probability weighted projection? And I mentioned global M2 regression line of 100,000 is sort of like my base case or worst case. And then all I have done is I've looked at these other potential outcomes and assigned a probability. Now, I agree with that. I also think the worst case scenario is 100,000, like worst case, right? Bear case, though, I'll say even higher. 222,000 for the cycle peak. But like worst case scenario, black swan event, still talking 100,000. At least in my opinion, I agree with the analyst there. Next up, he says, I don't think Bitcoin is going to go parabolic to 500,000 this cycle. I see 500,000 in the future, not this cycle. So it is a very low probability. And the outcome is just this probability weighted market forecast of 189,000 for Bitcoin by August next year, which will give it a market cap of around 3.75 trillion. Now, personally, This is an alignment, 500,000 with my cycle peak. My bear scenario for 2025 cycle peak is 222,000. My bull scenario is 750, and 500 is virtually right dead in the middle. So I think it is possible. I don't think it's the most probable possibility, but it's definitely probable. But according to Couch, Bitcoin has a 15% probability of hitting 100,000 by around mid-August of next year. Over the same period, Bitcoin has a 60% chance of hitting 170 Gs. I like those odds. A 20% chance of skyrocketing to 234,000 and a 5% chance of hitting 500,000. This reminds me of Dumb and Dumber, where Jim Carrey's like, so you're telling me there's a chance? Hell's yeah, broski, there's a chance. But anyways, let me know if you agree or disagree with the analysts, and where do you think that Bitcoin price peak will likely be, brothers. Holler. Now for our feature story of the day, fam. Trader Michaël van de Poppe says market's about to go vertical, just like Michael Jordan's vertical in his prime. Outlines a six-figure price target for Bitcoin. Ultimately says it's going to range somewhere between $300,000 and $500,000 per coin here in Q4 of 2024. So let's break this baby down. Here you go. Closely followed analyst says crypto markets are about to go parabolic, predicting a massive six-figure price tag for the biddy. In a new strategy session, crypto trader Michaël van de Poppe tells his 733,000 followers on X that if they believe in the narrative surrounding Bitcoin's halving cycles, Bitcoin could shoot up to a price between 300 and 500,000 per Bitcoin by the end of the year. Quoting the analyst here alongside the chart that shows the growth after the halving, it's about time that the market goes vertical. If that's the question, you believe in the 4-year halving, then we're on the verge. Whether it is in November, December, does not matter. End result is the same. Bitcoin to $300,000 to $500,000 per coin. Let me know if you agree, disagree. And it shows you where we're at currently in this chart. You can see the previous halvings, how much we have climbed, going parabolic right after. Halving from 2012, we had 9,000% climb. Then after the 2016 halving, we had a 2,800% climb. And then from the 2020 halving, we climbed 600%. Then we had another 675% climb. And now you see where it says we're here in the red circle on the chart. And from here, I mean, let's hit 300,000 to 500,000. Game on. The trader's chart indicates that this time around, Bitcoin has seen only a small fraction of the growth it historically sees during the halving years, meaning it has tons of room to flourish. If it were to stay true to the pattern, will history rhyme is the million-dollar question, fam. Let me know. Bitcoin's halving occurs every 4 years in April and cuts the mining rewards in half. The last halving event occurred April 19th. I know because we did a halving pump watch ultimately, or a halving watch, and many of you were here. According to Van de Poppe, since Bitcoin had a recent dip towards 65,000, it will consolidate and subsequently spark a rally to the upside as soon as next week. That's right, Trump pump, send it. Quoting him here, Bitcoin did have the dip towards the 65,000 area. Now consolidation and breakout from the next week onwards. I expect the yields to start falling soon again, which would push the markets higher. Let me know if you agree, disagree with the analysts. And the chart you can see on your screen here that he shares indicates Bitcoin will shoot past the 71,000 price tag sometime in November before consolidating and taking off and smashing that epic six-figure milestone, which we all know is inevitable. But let me know if you agree, disagree with the analysts. Can you see 300, 500 Gs per biddy? Holla at your boy. I'm going to read the comments out loud. Fruits and veggies. Bitcoin so resilient as of late. Reminds me of my pre-2020 pump. But even bigger, super cycle. Send it. Sprint, please. We can't survive another 4 years. That's right. Maybe we wouldn't survive another 4 years. Trump, 100%. Right on. 2021. Oh, well, maybe we'll have a steamy, dreamy soon. Bert, I don't know what the Bert is. I remember asking him, how much Bitcoin should I have? Let's ask Michael Saylor what the second best crypto is.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right?
One thing you got to get straight. If you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
Right. The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
Thank you, Michael. It's an honor to have you here today. Wishing you a lot of success with your $1 trillion Bitcoin bank, brother. And shall you continue to stack the biddy? However, Now go home and go get your shine box, brother. Gotta love it. 500 to 750,000 cycle peak. It falls right in line with my prediction. Amen. And shout out to the Nibinator. We may get another Nibinator indicator. He gave us 4 indicators yesterday after he was in hibernation since getting the gong. The Nibinator has returned. That's bullish in of itself forever. In my dream, we were not talking about the biddy. We weren't talking much at all. Ooh, what language were you speaking in that dream? What was going on? What do you remember? You can't just leave us hanging. If you weren't talking, what were you doing? Were you running? Were you working out together? Were you doing something adult-like? I mean, fill me in. I'd love to see 80,000 before the end of October. Very doable. Keep this in mind. Can someone run? What's a 26% gain from 27,000? Yesterday I shared a 5-year memory of the Bitcoin price action jumping from like 6,700 to like 8,700 in one day, which was a 26% jump. So it shows us Bitcoin is very capable of shooting up 26% in a single day when the time comes. If we were to jump up 26% today, where would the price be? Let me know, family. Nipsey grooming going on. He likes to groom himself, but he will go to the vet in about a week. He's got his dental appointment. Bitcoin first halving went up well over, 90,000. This next halving may indeed be the first. Why? Because has never had empires, nations, countries, pension funds, you and me, etc. and an nauseum. All in. We were horizontal wrestling. There you go. There you go. You're awesome, Moonstone. We love you. But anyways, we're going to end. This is getting too steamy for the YouTube. We're going to continue with the uncensored version of the pod on the Rumble. But first, let's end the live poll on the YouTube. And let's see what you guys think the 2024 Bitcoin cycle peak will be. And the results should be showing here on your screen any moment. Here we go. 34% of you believe 100,000 plus. Yes, and dancing. Okay, dancing and wrestling. 25. What a Giga Chad that guy is. 25% say 75 to 89. 23% say 70,000 to 74. And 15% of you say between 90 and 99,000. Right on.